take pack to the lung, to the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Can't be a real, you can't. The whole system need to dismantle. Coppers treated like the utmost wanted. Trying to rule the block, but don't know what goes on. News got a story with a new take on me. Tearing out the window with his blue face on me. But I know that God love me when my burn. 95 degrees and I can't get sunburned. Wonder when your government don't make me legal. Burn the whole city if I can't be equal. Get off my please, Brad, I earned that. 400 years, how you still ain't listening? I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Oh yes sir. I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Shout out to the trying to gentrify the genre. Tell them free my middle finger to your honor. In the day is coming down the seconds on the time. Goofy still trying to purchase that designer. About to buy a designer, learn to grow my own food. Cause I don't like the look they give me in the whole food. And when you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. But it ain't on me now, I'm limping cause my heavy. But ain't sweet, think we can. My whole attitude on MC Ren. It's my neighborhood now, fuck that. 400 years, you still ain't caught that. I take pack to the lung, to the stress to the head. I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir. I take pack to the lung, to the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say.
Yes. Welcome back to another episode of LanceScurvLive. If I sound a little congested, it's because I'm congested. I don't know. I've felt a little stress as far as feeling like I was coming down with a flu out of nowhere, and that was strange. I don't like to be around folks when they're sneezing out in the air. I kind of dodge them, but some people don't have any manners or upbringing, so you have to deal with that kind of crude behavior. I really can't believe in this day and age in 2023, people are just all over the place. What? Like I said, they didn't have any accountability when they were raised up. Now, why do I seem angry in this title? Because I am. I'm very angry. A lot of things hit me. It's like when you realize you're being used or gamed, and you realize certain things shouldn't be. I'm going to play you a clip in a few seconds. I just want to say something that it's not clickbait. I said what I said. As a people, we're done. Accountability could have saved us. But I said we are done. I didn't say the individuals who are still out here with the right state of mind. But the masses, no. You don't get a pass just because you're black. You don't get a pass because you're black. You do stupid things. You do evil things. If you're spiritually off, if you can't be held accountable and you want to be stubborn, get away from me. If you have that mentality, I say it all the time, of gossip, where you bring nothing good, but you think it's cool because you whisper it. But it gets all over the place and you're tearing your brothers and sisters down. I don't want to be bothered with you. If you're killing your sisters and brothers and doing things, even if you're in your own neighborhood and throw down some trash, You could have held on to it and walked it over to a garbage can. Where is this attitude coming from? So all of our ancestors that have done stuff to make us better, to look out for us, to keep us here, you don't give a damn. So you know what? I don't give a damn about you, because I know that I'm a representative of my parents, of what they put into me. When you see children or a child sitting somewhere by themselves and their mother might be nearby, their father might be nearby, and they're mannerable. Please, thank you. Thank you so much. Have a good day. You say, wow. You know the child is mannerable, but you say, wow. Their parents or their mother or their father or whoever raised them, their aunt, their grandmother, that's a reflection on them. But some of us are too busy to raise our children properly. See? And when you say something to them, they don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. But then you have your sons out there with guns, sticking people up and shooting them. You have your daughters out there laying around with everybody. And when they get the reputation of a whore, you don't want to hear it. Misjudgments do happen. It doesn't mean in every case. But when they just out there doing the damn thing, one man after the other laying on top of them, and when they get older, you want to cover for them. No, you didn't hold them accountable. This is what happens. And I don't want to bear the weight of somebody else's damn neglect. I got to this age, I want to enjoy my life. Because all my life, I romanticized about black people. I had the dream. I was going to be one of the good guys and do good and say the right thing and encourage and uplift. But we got more niggas amongst us than ever before. Now I come to the motherland, and they have their issues here. But I didn't come to the motherland to join on with gossipy, nosy niggas. That's what I left in America. So if your butt hurt that you're not all up in my business and I'm making big progress, it's because if I indulged in your behavior, I wouldn't get as far as I've gone. That's why we don't want to be bothered with you. Stay over there. I learned from America. If you hang out with somebody who has a lot of roaches in their apartment or their house, it's just a matter of time before they cling on to you and come home with you. Chris Rock was right. He spoke about black people and he spoke about niggas. And if I avoid you like the plague, you must understand who and what you are. So let me just play this clip. This was about maybe 2 weeks, 4 weeks ago, but it was in the area of Queens, New York that I grew up in. A place that you can walk late at night in my time. You can go out 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and take nice long walks. Friends of mine that were so close to me, we would do this all the time if we didn't have to get up to go to school, or if it was a summer vacation, or if we were just plain old free after getting out of high school. When I look back and I see this clip about where I grew up and the kind of kids that are coming up now, and they're not kids. If you having orgasms, you ain't no damn kid. I don't care if they say about 18 years old. If you busting nuts at 14 or 15, you know good and damn well what you're doing. Where are the parents of these children who grew up to be like this? You have a job to do. And evidently you dropped the ball and there's no black card for you. You don't get a pass. No, you don't. You don't get a pass at all. Let me play this clip. Oh, I just lost it. Let me just get it again. Let me grab this bad boy again. I guess the clip ran away from me. I said, no, I don't want you playing me. All right. Let's see if this is going to work here. Here we go.
Officials think this could be the largest gang takedown in history in the borough of Queens, and Fox 5 was given exclusive access as it happened. The Queens District Attorney, along with NYPD Chief of Detectives, announcing the 151-count indictment of 33 alleged gang members. Officials say all 33 defendants are charged with conspiracy to commit murder and that 18 of those were active trigger pullers. They say the defendants are members of warring gangs trying to establish territorial dominance in Southeast Queens. The gun violence escalated after the high-profile murder of an aspiring high school basketball star 4 years ago.
While the gang war was set off by a slashing in April of 2019, the tensions and violence between the warring factions escalated after the murder of 14-year-old Amir Griffin in October of 2019.
Throughout this investigation, it was determined that members of these gangs intended to commit murder and shoot opposing gang members based solely on their alliances and territorial disputes.
30 guns. You see them there. They were seized in this gang takedown. But before today's sweeping indictment was announced against members of two violent street gangs, our own Lisa Evers was embedded with the operation as NYPD detectives rounded up the suspects. And she's here now to bring us this Fox 5 exclusive. Lisa, take it away.
Well, Chris, this long-term investigation began with the murder of a promising teen basketball player. Now, nearly 4 years later, NYPD detectives tell us they have dismantled two rival gangs who terrorized South Jamaica residents with reckless gunfire, using drill music videos and social media to fuel their beefs. We got an exclusive look at their focused methods, which are very different from the wide-net gang sweeps of the past.
Some of the more than 30 suspects were already behind bars in state prison and on Rikers Island for other crimes. They were brought into the 111th precinct to be charged in this major gang conspiracy case. So serious were the safety concerns about the explosive rivalry between the crews known as Money World and their opposition or ops, the local trap stars, that police booked them at separate precincts to keep their family members and associates separated when they showed up.
Pretty much shoot on sight when they see the opposition. And a lot of times innocent people are caught in the middle of it.
Over the last 5 or 6 years, these two gangs terrorized the entire community.
Before sunrise, more than 150 NYPD detectives and supervisors assembled for the takedown of the alleged gang members. Most are between the ages of 18 to 22 and have been arrested before.
It started in the Baisley houses when Amir Griffin got shot and killed.
In October 2019, 14-year-old Amir Griffin, a Cardozo High School student athlete, was the unintended target of a shooting. He was killed on the basketball court near his home.
Sean, anything you must say?
18-year-old Sean Brown was arrested for the murder and is part of this case.
That could have been me. It could be my cousins, my nephews. I mean, it's just sad that that had to happen, but today, we have justice for the family.
As detectives investigated, they found a connection to other shootings that were happening in South Jamaica. Some were in broad daylight, one even outside high school. Police say an escalating rivalry between the Money World and local trap star gangs was responsible.
Once a shooting occurs and there's retaliation for that shooting, it goes back and forth. And it seems like they're never satisfied with the amount of violence committed, and they're always trying to get one up on their opposition.
Captain Ellis said the rivalry is over territory, not money or drugs. The hatred heated up over social media taunts and drill music videos where they allegedly bragged about the shootings, the actual locations, and even the calibers of guns used in incidents under investigation.
The drill rap is always a motivator, right? And the drill rap is so specific in that they mention people that have been killed in the past and disrespect those people that have been killed in the past. And it creates a residual effect where it's a tit for tat, a one for one. Everyone's trying to get one up on the scoreboard. That creates a retaliatory effect on both sides.
Chief, you have a lot of members of the NYPD here. Who is here and involved in this operation?
Yeah, so this operation involves members of the Detective Bureau. In particular, there's two different units. It's called Queens South VCS, In addition to that, it's a gun violence suppression unit.
What's happening here right now is you see different groups getting together. They're getting their assignments, and they're also getting their orders from their superiors about how they're going to do this raid, how they're going to take these suspects in. Detectives from local precincts, as well as warrants, homicide, and narcotics units, provided backup and were involved in the tactical attack meeting to review strategy.
Most of you guys know what your position is going to be on the team. We're going to move in it tactically. We're going to take the time when we get into the location, make sure we communicate.
Before we go out, they asked me and my cameraman to take precautions too.
So they're giving us bulletproof vests because many of the suspects that they're going after today have been pre-indicted on very serious gun charges. Some are actually accused of murder.
We head out to the highway towards South Jamaica. We're part of an NYPD caravan right now going to various locations where detectives will be apprehending the suspects in this case.
We can kill the lights.
We arrive at the house. The detectives surround it according to plan, while others do a door knock and go in with a warrant for the suspect. The detectives were able to find the person that they were looking for. They have taken the suspect in custody. They were in the house. They came out. No shots have been fired. This suspect, who is wanted for murder, is brought in to be booked. Another team returns with a suspect who wasn't part of the original case. Police say he panicked and threw this gun out the window while the officers were looking for someone else.
Get that my face, my.
The NYPD says this case, like others in recent years, shows that when they do sharply focused investigations and take the most violent offenders off the streets, the surrounding communities experience a drop in gun violence.
These guys did horrific violence out in the streets of South Jamaica. So it's a victory for the community today that these guys are actually all apprehended.
Countless acts, several homicides, non-fatal shootings, incidents of gunfire throughout the community absolutely took its toll. And I'm happy that we were able to deliver a clear message today that won't be tolerated.
Of course, all of the suspects are presumed innocent until proven guilty, but the NYPD says they have more than enough evidence to support the charges so that they will not be able to shoot anyone again for a very long time. Chris?
Wow, Lisa, excellent work. Thank you very much.
My hometown, my neighborhood, Baisley Pond Park. It wasn't around the corner. I had to walk a mile or two to get over there. But I remember I was 22 years old back in 1985, late 85. I remember me and an old girlfriend walking through there, 3:30, 4 in the morning. Not a problem. Yes, and this was when crack was out. This was when crack was hit South Jamaica, Queens, and Southeast Queens really bad. Crack is still around, as is all kind of drugs. But this is a whole different level. See, when we see a white police officer shoot down a young black man, what would I do if I saw a young black man who had a gun in his hand? I would not be afraid to deal if he was just that and I saw his hands and I'm talking to him. But I would be afraid to be a police officer in that neighborhood that I grew up in. Right by Baisley Park. At the end, you had the Q6 bus route. And when I drove a dollar van in the streets, unarmed in a van, picking up strangers to that neighborhood, of which I have several thousand stories to tell you about. That was a route that we watched out for because of the crack. But I really didn't have anything super bad to say about that area. Going back years, I remember in the early and middle 70s, you can walk down in that area. You had a place called the Rib Shack on 157th Street and Linden Boulevard. We would walk down 134th Street where I lived, cross over to Van Wyck and walk all the way down Linden Boulevard, get something to eat and bring it back home, an extra plate, because by the time you walk back, you are hungry again. Black people inside the restaurant, laughing with each other, talking with each other, and we may not have known them specifically because they came from a different neighborhood in the neighborhood. But the bottom line, there was a camaraderie and love and decency that I just don't see right now. I'm sick of it. And I'm all the way here in the motherland, far away from it and sick of it. And like I said, you got your niggas out here too who came from America who are butthurt when you don't hang out with them. No, I don't want to be bothered. I'm judging and assessing you as an individual. I will do what I can do to help. If you need help, if you want encouragement, if you want motivation, but it's no good unless you are accountable for your actions. If you got a mama who's an enabler or a daddy who's an enabler, it's not going to work. Because they're not going to want to hear anything bad about their baby. They babies and had babies and they're a baby. Come on, back up. Because you should have been spending time and putting time in to wire their brains and wire their thinking. So when they become adults, they don't fall victim to stupidness like that. Look at the music. This is why back in '89, these falashas, these people that Kanye West has a problem with, they decided to take, I keep saying it, and I see it, and I saw it back then. I didn't have a YouTube channel. YouTube didn't even exist. Who knows? The people that made YouTube probably 10 years old at that point. I said, this is not going to be good. Because black people, they're like, how can I put it? They're just so receptive to everything around them and want to copy things. And again, I'm not saying everybody. And I'm not saying anybody here because I know if you're here in the chat room, you got sense. But I'm venting right now because when I saw that clip, I didn't get dizzy physically. I got dizzy in my spirit. And people ask me, don't you want to go back and visit where you lived and grew up? No. Why do I want to do that? The last 2 times I went to New York, I stayed in Midtown Manhattan. And yes, we stayed at a nice hotel. Mrs. Scurv has discounts when she goes to nice hotels from the job that she did for 34 years. So yes, I went there. I did not even go into Queens. Oh yeah, I landed at Kennedy Airport, of course. Went on up the Van Wyck Expressway. I glanced away at where I used to live and I kept on going. Why? Why? I was thinking back then, I said, man, I might go there and knock some doors and get around some people, and some people might try to kill me. It is bad there, as it is in so many places. And it's up to us to make it good. But how are we going to make it good unless it's in our brain to do so? We have not been wired correctly. We cannot re-raise all of these 18 to 22-year-olds. And of course, there's some younger. And of course, there's some younger. Look at that old dude who tried to spit at the camera. Homeboy threw a gun out of his window and they weren't even coming to look for him. And they saw that and he got mad that he got busted. Now you want to spit at the camera. That's an old-ass one who came up just like these kids are. Ladies, is that what you want for a husband? Evidently a lot do, because I know young girls that get pregnant from all these little Rusties and Kirby's and Rollos and all of these types who don't give a damn. But it's cool to be that. It's cool to be a thought. And our sisters have much power over these brothers and don't realize it. But when you have a thought mentality, you're signing off on a thug mentality. Stop giving these dope boys and these knuckleheads pussy. Stop sucking their dicks. Some people don't deserve orgasms. I've come to that conclusion. You become glorified friction providers. They shoot a little sperm up inside you, and now you mad, but you go rock with your boy. He's locked up, and you're going to bring him commissary money. He should be building. Did you see the pictures of all of that young black energy? Misdirected? Could have started businesses? Yes, I'm coming down on them, but what about the people who raised them? At some point, somebody gave up. I'm not even going to say drop the ball. They gently put the ball down and said, I don't want to do this because I'm about to retire and I want to get my caddy. I want to get my Lexus. I want to get my luxury car. I'm going to enjoy mine. You go out there and get yours. But look what's coming back to visit you in your name. That's the legacy you want? And this government won't even let us correct our kids. Them kids at a certain crucial point should have got a massive ass whipping. I don't care what nobody says. And keep on doing it until they straighten up. But you can go to the military and damn near get an ass whipping to straighten up. The cops will do it. Because see, in the military, you serve the country. And when you get locked up, you serve the state, the federal, and the country, and the economy. But nobody tells them that. It's a badge of honor to get locked up. They killed that young high school kid because he couldn't have been 18 that went to Cardozo High School. I know so many people from Cardozo High School. That was in Queens near me. A lot of my friends are from there. Not that age. But the legacy, to hear that, to hear the local names, what it's become. Like I said, you could walk around Paisley Pond Park, hold a young lady's hand, whisper sweet nothings, steal a kiss and maybe a little bit more by the tree. Nobody bothers you. You had the Lover's Lane parking lot over there, cars parked, windows fogged up, love music playing. Everybody playing WBLS at night. So the whole area had love songs playing as you had your window cracked. It was beautiful. You walk down the block down to New York Boulevard. For those who don't know, New York Boulevard is Guy Brewer Boulevard right now. You make a right and go to the club called The Scene. That's the place I used to go to when I was 17, 18 years old, fronting like I was 21, 22. And you could dance and have fun. Yeah, there were a couple girls in the guy's bathroom on their knees to get a sniff of cocaine, but that was discreet. And you can walk home and walk at night. I like to walk at night. When I moved to Orlando, I couldn't even do that. It changed too. America is changing. Why don't we have community anymore? Why don't we have family anymore? Why are we in a state of disarray so much? You see that accountability? That's like the mortar that holds the bricks together. With no accountability, you stick the bricks or stick the cinder blocks on top of each other. You lean on it, it's going to fall over. It's not keeping it together. You can't be raised right. I just don't understand it. My heart is broken. I'm done. I'm only going to encourage those who know what time it is. I'm only going to spend the time with those who know what time it is. I did not get to this age to look forward to regressing. If you ain't going to shit, then get off the pot. And whatever happens to you, I can't care. I only have a limited amount of care in my heart. I'm sorry. I can't give it to everybody. No. These kids want a handout. These parents want a damn excuse. Well, you know, his daddy wasn't around and so. Look how many sisters are raising proper children. This is why I take my hat off to Master Glam and all the others here who are raising children in a decent manner and monitoring their time and micromanaging them, because the minute that you don't micromanage your child in this day and age, something's going to slip in. And those who you saw on the video clip who are from 18 to 22 years old, something done slipped in. Not at 17, not at 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Okay, let's look at it this way. 18 to 22. As we get older, we forget how time moves. We forget it, don't we? We forget it because if they're 22 years old doing this, that means the parents did the do probably in 2000 and they were born in 2001. And now 22 years later, 2023, here we are. They never saw 1999, 1998. We get so blurred by the stuff that we see on TV with the movies, and guns, and the crime. We accept this as being our culture. And you got them damn devils that Kanye West had a problem with, and they are getting fat, rich, and they ain't putting their children out there like that. We are to make, they know they are to make money off of us from our death like vampires. Did I say their name? You too. Come and shut this one down, damn it. I'm tired of you too. Because when you say something, really want to shut you down. But if I was up here with a dress or guns and pointing them and these guys were saying the names of people they killed, how demonic can it be? We're going to do the demonic show tomorrow, the next day or whatever. But it's the same thing. What kind of spirit is inside of these people, man? And the looks on their face, they're gone. They're dead. There's no humanity in their face. No, none at all. Not a caring of anything. Can just run out and shoot somebody. See, they can take a life because they don't value their own. They don't value their own lives. How do they know not to value their own lives? I love the beauty of a sunrise, the beauty of a sunset, the beauty of a good meal, the beauty of a conversation. Damn, you want to die? I mean, if you want to get nasty about it, I love a blowjob. I want more blowjobs in my life. I don't want to die. I'm not trying to go out there and get no gunfight with nobody. You know I got to say something sexual in the show now, right? But think of it that way. I'm a lover, not a fighter. And I'll return just as good as I give or get. But damn, you don't value nothing? When I was younger, I loved to draw. I'd love to be around my friends. I remember at a point when I was doing bodybuilding earlier on, I'd already started competing, and we were in the gym all the time, trying to take care of our bodies. We didn't do steroids or anything like that. We were just lifting weights with dreams and had pride and loved the girls. No, not no pedophile. When I say girls, I mean girls our age, females our age. We loved life. We loved a good joke, and I made sure to keep my friends laughing. We would hang out until it was time to sleep. It was so intense that my friends would come over to my house and we would hang out all night and get tired and had such a good time. We didn't want to leave. They didn't want to leave. I got an extra mattress and dropped it on the ground. I had a cot and there was 2 mattresses. Fall out and sleep. We'll get up and wash up and we'll go hang out again and do something constructive. When we were around, nothing bad was going to happen. Are there youngsters now like that police their own neighborhood by being a good youngster? When me and my friends would walk around, we would joke and kind of make fun of somebody if they were fat or chubby, had a funny looking whatever, but we didn't do it in a venomous way. If they tripped and fell, we'd be the first one to pick them up and help them. If they were in front of us and was $5 short and they had children and they didn't know or could find it, we're going to pitch in and we're going to make sure you get them groceries, miss. How can I pay you back? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And I love Black people. Yes, melanated, indigenous to the planet. The planet's Africa. I don't care how much they say Africa's splitting up. They are acting all happy. Finally, Africa's splitting up. Who knows what wicked deeds they have planned that way or who's doing that? But they take more joy in knowing that not only are we splitting up, but we can't even damn connect anymore. The trick was splitting us up as a people. They did that already. They did that already. Now they're keeping us from ever connecting. We don't know anymore what it is that we're supposed to do. We used to have rites of passage. Yes, and it was done in Africa. And we tried things in America. But there was always a male presence and a decent female presence there over us that was older, that even if we didn't know who they are, but they lived down the block, they made sure we walked straight. Hey, don't do that. That's not right. I'm going to talk to your parents later on. And you were scared. Oh, man. Dwight, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. Man, no, seriously. Seriously, I am mad and angry at this. I never gave these demons a pass, but I thought that maybe a word out there, year after year after year, maybe somebody would come forward and say, hey, and some have. I'm not going to lie, but not enough. I'm exhausted from dealing with this particular type of subject. No, I'm going to talk about it out of anger, righteous anger. But as far, oh, come here, little black boy, you know, you can do it. I'm going to encourage in general, but when you got that thing inside of you and you don't want to let it go, to hell with you, you bear the consequences of it. You bear and deal with the consequences of it. I'm with you. They were demons. But in a sense, they've allowed themselves and they embrace the demonic activity. So I'm not even going to give them an excuse. Yeah, they were demons for doing what they did, but they embraced it and loved it and flaunted it. Low self-esteem bastards. There's no excuse. We have the internet. We have history. We have mathematics. We have engineering. We have every facet of learning in the palm of our hand. And you mean the only place you can go to is World Star? Instagram to look at some ass? How much ass can you get in a day, bruh? You want all the money, you want all the riches, but you don't want to work for it. You found money to get that gun, huh? But you couldn't find the money to get a book to educate yourself. But I bet you had the newest phone and doing the lowest things on it. I'm tired of these people who are like this. I'm sick and tired. They will never get a pass from me. And don't come and tell me something about, well, the police, the racist police. We know that's what's inside of them. We know that's what's inside of them. With some of them, that's some of the jobs that that's their job, these people. Why should that surprise you? And in the reaction of all of us, we go out and march. But what about having accountability and going after them 3 black demons that took Dwight's son's life? We don't say nothing about that. We just look at the news. Oh, that's bad. Oh, but when the white police kill us, we want to march. And what are we doing by marching? What the hell are we doing by marching? Don't march. Teach your kids what and what not to do. Then if you have to take action as a collective, it has more meaning. You're going out there marching, but your very children are listening to that music. And I'm talking about the ones that will kill and do. I'm not talking about Dwight's son. I'm talking about the ones who are out there who are jealous that you have, or they have somebody to take care of them, to love them, to fortify their minds and what to do and not to do. They are hateful. They're jealous. They're venomous. Just like the niggas out here who came from America out here. Not all of them, but the majority of them. They want to sit around. He built his house and he don't want to be around nobody. Goddamn right. Wasn't around you when I was in America. And there are those who I know here online that I could have had a chance to meet, or, you know, you don't meet everybody. It's physically impossible. I'm still going to come to Florida and meet you, Master Glam. I'm going to meet everybody who's here. It's coming. But I have no time for the niggerology. Taking people's lives. Man, it was If you were a boy and disrespected a young girl just from your words, you were in trouble in school. This is regular lingo now with these youngsters. And the young ladies accept it. Hey, bitch, how you doing? I'm the baddest bitch. Well, stay that way. Because you are a reflection of your parents or your aunt or your grandmother. Like I said, we have been so broken up as a family. It's not just always father and mother. It's not just always that way. It used to be. And it's not that the parent or the parents are bad or anything. It's circumstances. But it's gotten to the point that when I was driving the bus in Orlando, Florida, it was always a little girl with the mother. Not necessarily always the boys. But it might be a little 5 or 6 year old girl, 4 years old, 5 years old, staring at me. And the mother didn't notice that I'm driving. And after a while, I began to understand the breakdown of our families. It happened about 3 or 4 times. Little girl would tap on the mama and point at me. Mommy, mommy, yeah, baby. And whisper in the ear, but I heard it. Is that my daddy? I said, wait a second. Do I look like that to myself? No, it wasn't that so much. It was the masculine energy that they were missing from their lives. They had male energy around their lives. I'm not going to say everyone, but for a child to say that, that means that something was missing. And so you saw me upright every day, my eyes clear, focused, alert, doing my job, treating people decent, greeting them properly, helping them out. That's strange to some of the children. And it's okay if your relationship didn't work out. It's okay if the father is not in their lives, if he's not an example, but allow him to be there. But what I'm saying is that there's no attempt to fill in the male energy, the righteous man energy. Forget the male. Male means just you come equipped with a penis. But I'm talking about the man energy, the wisdom energy, the problem solver energy, the provider energy. Not just the energy of, I'm going to leave the door open 2 o'clock. You come on in. My babies will be asleep then, but you got to be out before 5. If you're an adult and you do what you do, but then if that is your only focus, you just give the kids just enough. You don't prepare meals for them. Every morning it's a bowl of Fruit Loops, Frankenberry, Sugar Smacks, cornflakes, GMO, sugar. You don't prepare meals for them. Yeah, there's sometimes you're going to be tired and say, baby, we're going to order out some Chinese or a pizza. Yeah, mommy said we're going to get. Okay, granted. While I may not condone that type of food, I understand how tough it can be. But be there to do their homework. And you want to get mad at the teacher when the teacher say the child is not paying attention or acting up, but you ain't spending no time with them. You don't make them know this word accountability. You do this, that's good, you're rewarded. You're accountable. You do that, that's bad, that's an ass tearing up. But we're scared to do that because the system won't allow it, because they want disrespectful children to grow up to be disrespectful adults because they got something for them and they can make money off of them. It was so sickening to me to work with the incarcerated and to see how much money is generated from them being there because they want you there, or they want you just killing off your own. Because of their birth rates that are reduced and down in the single digit ages, or what are ages? Yeah, ages. I'll say it that way. Because the young ones ain't really producing, and the older ones ain't really producing. So it's all of the ages all together. But we could be in the hood with our kids walking 10 feet behind us with orange fingers eating cheese doodles and just as healthy which they're not, but they're more healthy than them little kids who reject the sun. Ain't that something? We still here. Maybe there's some truth to the whole baby kids. We don't die, we multiply. So they don't care about us. The system doesn't care about us. And others got their own problems. Can I expect white folks to come? Oh, I'm going to be concerned about the black people. No, you going against the system that you're a part of that benefits you. I'm not even going to be mad at them right now. I'm mad at us because there's so much that we can do that we're not doing. So when things slip through the cracks and these white cops do those things and beat us down, and in the same neighborhood a couple miles away, I was beat down by 11 cops for nothing more than driving a brand new car. Right there on Parsons Boulevard in 89th Avenue, right across from the family court. Wasn't too far from there if you look at it on a larger scale. So I should be walking around mad already. But that happens. No excuse to them. It was terrible. But as I look back and pull the magnifying lens back and look at the overall picture, a lot of times from behavior, and you see in those neighborhoods, in that particular neighborhood, and all over New York City, that a lot of times we bring this shit on ourselves. All those guns, did you see it on the table? Unbelievable. Between 18 and 22. Shoot, sometimes I'm so broke I can't even afford a daggone water pistol. And I've worked all my life. How are you getting the money to get those guns? Well, we know, because you do a little hustle in the street selling drugs. But what if you had that intense sense of purpose and intense drive for something righteous? Take 10 of y'all. I'm not saying to go to work at McDonald's, but you young. Why don't you all make an offer to somebody in the neighborhood or one of your parents? You got a big basement. Well, let 5 of y'all stay there for a year and accumulate that money from working at McDonald's and save it all up. After a year, how much would that be? What is minimum wage there? What are they paying the McDonald's? And you take maybe a 65 or 2/3 of your salary and put it down. And let taxes and your personal needs deal with the rest. 5 of y'all for a year. Don't you think that possibly you can put down something on a piece of property, a storefront, and ask your parents or collectively the parents to sign off on it because your credit is not established? And we all like to get our hair cut. We don't have to just go into the barbering business, but do something in the neighborhood and keep on pushing it while you get it that way. We can be creative in how to make money. You don't have to have a gun in your pocket to feel like a man, because you'll never feel like a man with a gun in your pocket unless you work in a law enforcement and are respectable in that position. Notice I said that because there's a lot who are crooked. And because I'm talking this way, I'm not giving a pass to those who are crooked. The ones who had me in a chokehold, punching me in my face, grabbing my nuts and like they're trying to rip it off and bending my fingers back for minutes on end. You think I'm scared of 1 or 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people in the street? Old as I am, bring it. I do still have a rage inside of me behind that time, but I'm going to reserve it for somebody who steps to me. I'm going to keep that killer instinct for the people who deserve it, not the innocent people. Because if you do something to somebody around me and they're innocent, I'm going to flip out on you. And you might lose your life. And that's not tough talk. This is why I stay to myself. Because these kind of people piss me off. You mean we got to work all our lives and take care of our property and save up and scrounge our pennies together to make a move? And these Negroes out here saying we took money from people and we borrowed big money. What? And it's always the lazy ones who are online and ain't got nothing to do because they ain't going to be acknowledged. They want attention. They ain't going to be no damn superstar. You can pack that up. You can pack that up. YouTube is not making it that way no more. Even when you go do something a little viral, you got these people who don't want to do nothing. I will do, and I have done all my life. So if I have a little extra time to share my thoughts every single day, I still think of survival. I still think of cutting corners and do what it is that I have to do because I don't have it like that. But I've been doing that all my life. And I saw this coming. And people say, oh, you up and ran from America. Do I want to sit up there with that? Especially when I was the kind of person to want to heal somebody, motivate somebody, but I had been ripped off so much. I've been talked about so much that now I can't even become a half hermit and stay away from the BS. God, dog, what am I supposed to do? Tear up my ass every day? Well, Lance had 6 hairs around his ass, but now he has 8. Is that news? Some of y'all will scrounge. Some of y'all sit behind the computer all day long. Even I don't sit behind the computer all day long. And I do a lot of work. I put hours in. Some of y'all peeping and making new names, but your IP address don't stop. And I can check IP addresses. I got all that gadgetry here. And you're peeping and you're whispering. And it's not even just the kids, y'all. It's people in their 50s and 60s. Ain't got a life. But they may not have a gun in their hand, but they're just as dangerous with their gossip and wanting to know. And those are the people, they're going to find them drop dead right in front of a computer because they're not trying to do anything constructive. There's so much information out here. Like I said, you have every college in the world in the palm of your hand. And it's not just about college, but guess what? You can teach yourself a whole hell of a lot. I know I've learned. I learn every day. You think I'm just sitting here on World Star Hip Hop and Instagram booties all day? No. No. I'm an older guy now. I see things. Bling. I remember when I was younger. Bling. You get them flashbacks. But you can't pole vault with a noodle. I still work, but I'm not. That's not the focus of the world. It should have been expanded by then. But this is what happens when you don't expose your children to anything. No matter what it takes, you have to take them to museums. You have to take them around other people who are doing other things. When I was 11 years old and 12 years old, so 11 years old, it was in late June, July into August, 1974. My father had some kind of hookup with this rich architect because he damn sure couldn't afford that. He made money and he took care of us and we didn't starve. But I didn't realize the financial transaction and how much it would be. And they gave us an interview. They gave me an interview. That white man hooked it up where I can go to North Country School, which was also called Camp Treetops in the summertime. And who was there? You had many people who are philanthropists right now. There was one now who comes from a family. I didn't know he came from a family of billionaires. Brian Bronfman. He probably doesn't remember me, but Google that name, Brian Bronfman, B-R-O-N-F-M-A-N. He's a billionaire and gives away money. Now, I don't think he'd give me anything, right? But also Michael Rockefeller was running around there. Me and him got in a fight. I shoved him down. He jumped in front of me to brush his teeth and I wasn't going for it. So what I'm saying, it doesn't mean because I rubbed elbows with people from Illuminati families that I'm better, but I learned how other people thought, how they were thinking about investments and thinking about different things that opened my world and opened my mind. Knowledge doesn't have color on it. All knowledge is good knowledge, even the so-called bad knowledge, because it'll show you what not to do. You don't think I know a lot of criminal things to do after working in the jail for so many years? I could be your worst nightmare. I've learned so much, but it doesn't have to be bad. You can use it for good, proactively, to stop things from happening to you. But I don't have that kind of thing on my record. I just got misdemeanors from punching people in the face and defend myself. DAT tickets, desk appearance ticket. Growing up in New York City, I'm glad that's all I had. But I saw the trajectory and I saw how it was getting. You're right, Brandon. You're right. Those thugs are nothing without a gun. We had to fight with our fists. And if you weren't adept in fighting, you didn't have to be the best fighter in the world, but you knew you had to keep yourself right. That's why I was always in the gym. Dipped in bed a little bit with my friends who did boxing. But I know what it's like to get punched in the face. I know what it's like to have my lungs winded and push my body. My body's not in the same shape it was before, but I can get more out of it now than most people my age. That's a damn shame. Dwight, sitting in his car. Punks. Punks. And you're right. Savages. Savages. And you got the people, oh, you can't call, that's what white people call us. Well, we acting like it. We acting like it. You got some people say, oh, you shouldn't use the word, the N-word. Well, what's wrong with calling up them niggas when they acting like niggas? Call it for what it is. Do they get insulted when you say, oh, that person's a faggot? Well, if you had a dick in your mouth 5 years ago and you a dude, 5 minutes ago and you a dude, well, what is that? Why are we so sensitive? Even on a comedy tip, comedians have to be careful in what they say. You see what I mean? That's right, Brandon. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, I got to take a day and zone out and make some t-shirts. I wanted to put some illustrations on it, but they'd have to be very simple. But the words, I can put words on stuff. So just remind me on that one again. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to write that down. That's right. That's so true. That's so true. Yeah, AI is about to mess up everything. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. AI site can find every photo of you online. Some call it a stalker's dream. I'd like to know what website that is. I found some different types of AI websites, and it's going to really mess some people up. A lot of people are going to get killed over that. You're going to have a jealous ex-boyfriend take the voice of the new boyfriend and make it seem like he's cheating, or make it seem like he's crying over the fact that he has HIV and he doesn't, and send it to the girlfriend. She's going to think he does. It's going to be all kind of things that we don't even see right now. I'm toast. All the pictures and video I got, my voice is out there. I'm glad I'm out here, though, for real. They can't say, well, Lance was in Orlando, Florida, or New York City plotting something, and here it is. Here's a, I've been out here since September 16, 2020. Unless you try something out here. And you got to put me with the location, because I don't really go nowhere. I go places incognito. I slip out 2, 3 in the morning and go here and go there. Folks don't know. I go out in the daytime. Yeah, sure. But it's never where it's any regularity for me right now in my life. It's on a whim. I think I'll go here right now. I think I'll go there right now. So unless they have a mind reading machine, they're not going to be able to track me that way. Sometimes I'll stay in the house for a week. When the house is done, I might sometimes stay up there for a month. Why would I have to leave? Just get some store-bought food. When everything grows, I'll be eating out of there. Then what? Then what? Oh no, I know I'm protected. I know I'm protected. Yeah, but privacy there is non-existent. And I know for a while, and I know there's a lot of stuff out there for me, but that's to be expected. I know I'm a target. It's going to happen one day. They might put me with some LGBTQ stuff. Imagine that. Oh, no, don't do that. Don't do that. None of that. That'll make some headlines. I'll laugh at it because I'm like, this MF. Yeah, cameras everywhere. You're right. I'm just so tired of it, though. I'm just, I don't know who here is old enough to remember the old commercial where you had the Native American who came back through whatever area it was where he lived before. He's a grown man, and he's walking along the highway, and he was walking on the side of the highway in the smog, and you can see the smog, and all of a sudden somebody threw out something, some trash, like a bag full of fast food stuff, like the cartons and stuff that landed by his feet, and he slowly turned his head, and you saw a tear coming down his eye. That's how I feel. That's how I feel when I saw this clip. And I know it's everywhere, right? Not just Chicago or Miami or Compton or whatever. I know it's everywhere, but it touched me to see that and to know these youngsters were born after I left. My final trip up there, my business, selling my house up there. Before I came down, I was going back and forth between February and April. Had to change certain things, you know, certain violations, because, you know, I did stuff with the house to make it where you could have higher occupancy with apartments and stuff. Everybody was doing it to make extra money. So I had to undo a lot of things. It was so frustrating. You'd come down back to Florida. Oh, Lance, you have to come up and change this. You have to come up and change that. And you have to fly up and go change these things. When I finally left the day of the closing, which was April 5th, 2021. And New York was, things were going on, but not like this. Not like this. It's like when you come home to a roach-infested apartment, or you come to some friend's house and you know they got roaches. They tell you, listen, stay out in the hallway, let me clear these little things out. And you see them crawling all over the place. And so you see people like this. They probably would have been killed me. Probably think I have money because I'm online. Well, yeah, LanceScurv got it going on. Yeah, why not? I would be a big target. I know I would have been trying to deal with what's and be an example in my neighborhood, but it just takes one. Because they're like vampires. They're like parasites. And like I said, who's responsible for not teaching them accountability? Who's responsible? So, it's a few minutes over an hour. I've been feeling like I've been a little, you know, clearing out the congestion in my nose for some reason. I know somebody on the van was just sneezing it up. I'm like, man, why don't they cover their mouth? I had to damn near stick my head out the window. Oh, Miss Tivasation, how are you, my dear sister? And everybody here who I didn't have a chance to acknowledge. Oh, man, there's so many. So many. Don't think I was in my funk. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm still there. But I had to get this off my chest. And maybe tomorrow we'll do the Demon Show, or Thursday or Friday, whichever way. When I do that one, I want everybody to come on in and share their experiences. I'm not going to say I'm talked out, but I want to hear some fresh stuff, fresh perspectives. So I'll probably set it up for tomorrow. But hey, this was about the demons too. See, we can't just look at the color of the skin now at this time. We're beyond that. The spirit, the mentality. Again, there's certain things that have to be done. This is part of the breakdown of the black family. And now we're here. We're here, hook, line, and sinker. Yes, we were there 10 years ago. Yes, we were getting there from 20 years ago. On one side, we got these young men who have all this aggression for the wrong things. And then we have the young men who want to be women. And you tell me this is like by chance? There's no way. This is by design. They don't teach us right in the schools. And we have people who it was circumstantial that they had children. Of course, when you're approaching orgasm, you're not thinking about, well, I'm going to put the baby crib and I'm going to make the room so nice. And I'm having an orgasm. Boy, it's going to be so nice when I have that. No, you're getting it. I understand that. But there's time enough. And yes, we do make misjudgments, but we can't keep doing it. What about that girl in, oh God, how many kids? I did a show on her a long time ago. She had like 15 kids, or I forgot. And she kept doing it. And she was sitting there looking stupid. What are you doing? Now, maybe if it was the motherland and you had a whole side of a mountain and you had a man who was taking care and maybe sister wives or what are taking care, but you can't be somewhere in the inner city with all them kids like that and do right by them. Not that many. And she had nothing to impart into their heads. Anybody come around, just, you know, hey, whatever, come around later, baby. We can do a little something. And you pleasure-seeking men, who that's all you can see in a woman is ass. Ass is beautiful. Ass is wonderful. But that's part of a woman, okay? That's part of a woman. Your mama died. What you gonna do? Find a piece of ass to go hug up on, and that's gonna soothe your heart? You want the full womb man. The one who can run the home, not the house. They don't call the whore house whore home. They call the whore house because that's all it can be. Ain't no whore house, no whore home. So you can go there all you want. You ain't gonna really get some comfort. You'll get the CUM comfort, but you ain't get the COM comfort. The full beauty and majesty of a woman that you choose that has the attributes, not the hoochie. Yes, I don't care because they support the thuggery. I wouldn't want no child from no damn hoochie. Hey, I'm the baddest bitch. Well, you stay over there with that. And we forget the fullest majesty of a woman, a real woman who carries herself in a decent manner, who ain't out there half naked trying to elicit attention from men on a lustful level and expect love to come at them. See, we got to get it on too. And am I bashing black women? No. I might be bashing black hoochies. Hoochie mama. Everything hanging out. Everybody gets a turn. Help with them bills. Yeah, you get up in there. Who wants that? How is she going to hold her children accountable when she can't be accountable her damn self? And it's both. I just spoke about the brothers. And that's not our culture as a people. I can't even include them as a people. I said, as a people, we're done. We got to separate ourselves from these people who have no interest in anything else, because let me tell you something, time flies. I never thought in a million years, me being 60 years old would come so fast. I would have never thought. But I'm just as youthful. I have the same spirit. I'm a lot smarter. I laugh just as fast. I'm not caught up in the age. It's just a mere marker. I'm the same person. Those branches on my tree from 18 and 19 years old, they're there, but there's so many branches on my tree now. So much more to me than just that. But for so many, they're the same. They're not growing. They've been planted in poor soil. No nutrients in the soil, so it's stagnant and retarded in its growth. Do we ever sit down and talk with anybody anymore to get to know them? To see where their conversation is going. Conversation can tell you so much about a person. Because if it only goes but so far, then you know you're dealing with a fool. Am I saying to be condescending to someone who doesn't know as much as you? But that desire to grow and to become better, they want to switch it around on you and say, oh, you think you better because you talking better. Because did anybody bar you from a library? Did anybody bar you from a bookstore to pick up a damn book? Those are the things that what you put in your head, it comes out. Now, I can talk foolish and I can talk stupid and I can tell some lustful jokes or whatever, but try me. There ain't a subject I can't talk about. I don't know everything about the subject, but there's nothing that I cannot talk about or add into the conversation. But I will not talk like a know-it-all and make a fool of myself either. I crave information. There are people who know me that know I would always have something to read with me from way back. Another one of the architects that my father worked for gifted me with a 2-year subscription to National Geographic. That was in 1968 when I was 5 years old. A lot of the reading I didn't want to do, but I damn sure looked at the pictures, and it stoked a hunger in my imagination. We didn't have the internet back then, and all we had on the television was channel 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 21, and what's the other one? Was it 28? I think, maybe. In the Spanish channels, 41 and 47, I think also 31. Wasn't no cable. Manhattan, they had Manhattan cable, but you had that antenna. So you better take that coat hanger and bust off the antenna because it wasn't working right and stick that coat hanger in there. And if the TV was old enough, you had that pair of pliers to change the channel. You had to pee, but you wanted to look at the good part. That's what the commercials were for. Damn, when the commercial gonna come? I gotta pee. Or if you had to do something else. Now we have all of this technology and we're more on a beast level than we ever been before. We didn't have what we have now. There's no excuse. The majority of me is not made from the computer time. It was made from the time when we had to use an ink pen and write on one side of the paper down to the last line and come down with a smooth landing without any mistakes. Punctuation had to be on point. Wasn't no writing 2 or 3 lines on the back. No, you had to finish it there. You had to see what you were working with. Whoop, I got 3 more lines. I'm coming toward the end. And you better not end before. You better end right there to show you got those skills on a smooth landing when you wrote. So now the computer is easy. Spell check helps me sometime. But spell check usually falls asleep on me because I don't use it that much. I learn new words. I try to learn new words every day like my mother made me do. My father taught me how to be a man. They stayed on me. I didn't do nothing really bad when I was young. A lot of girlfriends, yeah, but never the drugs, never the crime. If I saw somebody drop money, I'm handing it back to them. If somebody needed me money, I'll help them as much as I could. We had pure hearts back then. The majority of us, my friends at least. There's certain things you just didn't do. Unbelievable. Let me know if anybody wants to come in and say anything. If not, I'm going to drop the link here. We'll go on to the conference line and chat a little bit there. Let me see here. Okay, I've dropped the link here. Dwight, I'm still hurting from hearing that information and I'm glad that I said that because I would have never known. And I just want us all to send positive energy on a spiritual level to Brother Dwight for the pain that he has to go through. And that pain doesn't go away. You see, people see things on TV and it's off. It's on the news and it's done. But that parent and those parents knows the whole circle of family has to deal with that loss every single day. You have pictures up on your mantle. You have voicemails on your phone that you want to save of the voice. You have clothes that you don't want to throw away. As the years go by, you say, this one would have been this age and they would have been doing this and they would have been doing that. For other people, they don't realize that. And I've talked to enough people on this show and off the show because of the show who have gone through things and it never goes. I mean, my parents transitioned naturally. And I haven't heard my mother's voice since 1994. I haven't heard my father's voice since 1990, but I can hear it clear as day in my head. Those things never go away. This thing called time, that's man-made and artificial, the passage of this thing called time, it doesn't erase that. It doesn't erase that hole in your heart. So everybody who's ever dealt with any kind of loss like that or any kind of loss, my heart goes out to them. That's where I want to put my energy, to soothe my brothers and sisters who have gone through stuff. But I'm not giving a pass to these damn niggas out here who are thugs and enjoy that stuff and rap about it after. Who you did, you bringing pain to families, man. You breaking lineages. a lineage to come all the way down. May the ancestors of that person that you took from this earth haunt you and bring you to even if you don't see it on this earth. Man will give his punishment and say, oh, you're sentenced to this and sentenced to that, but you're not getting away. If you look at nature, you see that everything is perfectly balanced. Perfectly balanced. And you can't get away. It's crazy. That's right. That's right. That's a factor in it too. That's a factor in it too. But again, I say my heart goes out to those who did right by the children. But Jack, we said, hello, Lance, these kids don't respect adults because adults don't respect the kids. Every time you turn around as an adult is posing naked somewhere to be popular and saying, F them kids. You have a faction who's like that. Like I said, them hoochies. You know how that hurts a little boy and hurts a little girl? And they don't overhear conversations and see what, yeah. Accountability. The parents, and I said this earlier on, the parents have to be accountable. But some of them don't want to be. Some of them are still kids, but you open your legs and you get a kid popped up in you, then you need to know better. You need to know that it's not about you anymore. Don't be mad. Don't be mad at the next person who didn't do that and want to still have your low vibrational fun. You're messing up your kids by the things they see you doing. Can't put your titties away all up there. Everybody looking at them and the kids looking, oh, mommy, put some clothes on. Those I don't, you know. Okay, let me see something here. As a people, correction, black men are done. Black women are thriving. Thriving how? Thriving how? Because they get a corporate job and it's two good strikes for the company, a woman and a minority. Only one of the modern black women who don't understand what's going on would say something as asinine as that. You're thriving without your man. We need each other. We're made for each other. Unless you have a white husband, you're going to find out. You don't like that. But the system that takes us down is taking us down together. What about the black family? How is the black family thriving without the man? So you may not have been butthurt by some black man and you happy. I got my car, I got my house, I got my money. And when you hit your 50s and your 60s and you're damn lonely, what do you want? Ain't no way you're that old now. But hang around for a little bit when friends start dying, when nobody wants to come around and see you anymore, and you're surrounded by things. The things ain't gonna make you happy. See, the world will intoxicate you for you to even think because of a little money coming your way. If it is that, black women are thriving. That's crazy. Wow. Funky bruja. Your bruja is funky. Isn't that something? Just really look at that comment. That's one of them right there. And that's one of the reasons why our community is not intact. I said, we're done. Those who subscribe to that, if you separate from that way, it doesn't mean that a black man is not there for you. You got to make better choices. Or maybe you made a mistake and your butt hurt. I don't know. Okay, yeah. Okay, come on in here, Dwight. If you got the female balls in the funky brew, I'd like to hear from you directly. There's a link you could click right there. If you're not afraid to come and speak and show how black women are thriving and black men are done. So here's one of the anti-black men type things. Okay, we got Brother Dwight here. Brother Dwight, your line is open. Talk to me, brother.
Oh, wow. I've never done this before.
It's
I've never,
okay.
Actually called in after being a YouTuber for so long.
No
basically, what you had said while I was trying to connect, you really hit home with all of this. It's going on 2 years now. My son was murdered January 5th of 2021. He was
You're still connected, brother, but I don't hear you. You're in, but I don't hear you. Brother Dwight, maybe if you sign off and come back in again, I'll wait for you. If you can hear me, I really want you to share your story and I really want you to speak, but I'm not hearing you. All right. If you can hear me, Brother Dwight. No. Hang up and hit that link again. I'll drop it back in there for you. You may not even hear me and might still be talking. Let me see if you can come back in. Hang up completely away from the hang up completely away from the show and come back in because I cannot hear you. We cannot hear you. Yeah, I'll wait for you, brother, but you're still there, so you got to hang up. And I don't think it's anything over here that I've done. No, I didn't. Everything is set just right. You're right about that, Master Glam. And like I said, any true black woman who would separate herself from a man, even though it may seem that there may not be as many choices and a lot of us are messed up and a lot of us caught our scars, what happened to building together with someone who is proper? See, I don't understand. You have those. There's always one. I'd like to see her when she hits her 60s. Because that's when a lot of reality starts hitting in. You can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have anybody to say, hey, remember way back when, you know, and everybody's lives works out a different way. I understand that. But you really start to look back when you get to a certain chronological age and your thinking will be different. Trust me. Dwight, I'm not, let me see here. Okay. I had to remove you, Dwight. I wanted you to come back in. Maybe you didn't hear me. But I want you to come back in. I hate to remove anybody. It's not like I'm kicking you out, but you had to come out to come back in. So if I took you out, then it'll be easy to come back in. I hear you, Tracy J. And again, it's best not to be with anyone if it's going to be drama. You know, because a lot of us go through relationships, leapfrog from one to the other. I'm not saying you or anybody here. I'm just saying it happens that way because we looking. And but you're doing the right thing in your personal life. You're working on yourself because when you do meet that person, you'll be a better version of yourself. You know, a lot of us forget to do that, and we diminish over time lots of times because we weren't looking and never worked on ourselves. So any man that's with you, he's going to want you to better yourself for you. So that if something happens to him, you're a better person. You're more knowledgeable to be able to handle what comes in life. You know, I'm not knocking you for have a little friend. And I know you don't have that. But what I'm saying is that make sure you know what time it is in your life with the people who are around you. Yeah, you're right, mixed genre. 7 deadly sins are pride, greed, wrath, envy, lust, gluttony, and sloth. All the things that social media will put into you unless you have a mind of your own to extract from it what you need. Yeah, you can laugh at things, little things that are forwarded, but you don't let it suck you in like quicksand. But yeah, that's social media for you. The 7 deadly sins of abundance, and our children are sucking it up. We got to be careful. You have to be careful. Exactly. You're speaking nothing but truth. Yeah. I read a lot. One of my aunts who wasn't never do well asked me when I was reading. She never read anything in her life and had a series of low-end jobs. Exactly. Maybe if she read a little bit, it would have stoked a hunger in her mind to improve herself and make herself better. You know, that's just the way it is. Where's the other woman? I told her to come on in. I guess she's afraid. You have nothing to be afraid of. Come on, state your mind. Okay, Brother Dwight is back. Your line is open, brother. I don't know what happened, but talk to me.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
I'm at work right now, so I had to run back in and get rid of my earpiece and then try and figure this out. But anyway,
talk to us.
My son he was a college student. He was approaching his 21st birthday. He was murdered approximately little more than a month and a half before his 21st birthday. He was a college student at GCU. He's a
Looks like we got cut off again. Oh man. Okay. I don't know if you all hear Brother Dwight. But if you don't, what I want to extend to him is that he can call me directly and we can record something and, you know, let him share his thoughts and his feelings and his story. Brother Dwight, if you can hear me, you're cut off again. Okay. Hello? Hello?
Hello,
Dwight?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I don't know what happened. It cut off again. I get at one.
I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No problem. No problem. Go ahead. Continue, brother.
I don't know how much you heard, but my son was a star athlete. He was a rugby star. He was doing well in school.
Yes.
He was studying entrepreneurial studies. He was good at sales. When he was a little boy, you know, everybody in the family was like, he's going to be a millionaire one day. He was very funny. He had a lot of jokes. Handsome young man. Both of my sons, very handsome. He was so well loved and well liked. I mean, it's just so painful.
Brother Dwight, you cut off again. Maybe move around a little bit. I'll wait for you, brother. I'll wait for you, brother. And if not, like I said, I'm always open to record something, a conversation that you can talk as long as you want and share your feelings. I don't care how long it takes. If you want to talk for 6 hours, fine by me. Y'all know how I do. Brother Dwight, we can't hear you. I'll put this link again and make it easy for you if you want to come in. Yeah, it cut off. Why? You know, it just amazes me when we really get down into a topic and we really speak in something of sense and just to have a brother talk and share what's going on out there. And these things happen. There's always something happening. There are things that happen that you don't even know that happen sometimes on this side. Brother Landon Price, how are you? You know what? We should take this to the conference line where we're not going to have this kind of problem. And of course, I fixed the number on the banner. Brother Dwight, I'm hearing some background.
Yes, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay.
You know, just in case we get cut off, and I'll have everybody going over to the conference line. I don't know if you can see that number on the screen. That's where we'll be. Yeah. Okay. That's where we'll be. We'll get no interruption because that's in the cloud. And as you will know,
should I call that?
Yeah, you know what? You know what? Yeah, call the number now. Give everybody a few seconds to come in. And it's going to take a second for me to come in because I got to play the music going out and break it down right. But when you get there and you hear somebody like maybe Master Glam, Mixed Genre, if you will, and Tracy J, if you will head over there right now, if you can, and be able to greet our brother there, then you can start talking your story. I will get there, but don't wait for me because I got to sign off on this. And everybody else who wants to come into the conference, and there's a number. If you're not talking, or you have a little noise behind you, mute your phone. You don't have to. And those who are regulars don't. They know the drill. But mute your phone and let Brother Dwight talk. We're going to take this there, and we'll have this up online for all to hear, and I'll probably put it on my Patreon page, and we're going to go along with this. We're going to have a discussion, and it's going to be powerful. Thank you so much, brother. Give me a few. Go in now, and I'm waiting for everybody else to come in. They'll say hello, and just start talking because it records automatically when somebody comes in. All right. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Bye-bye. Okay. Bye. I'm going to leave this up for everybody as the music goes off and goes on, but we're going to shut this down. And again, everybody's welcome. When you get there, be considerate of the background noise so that we can hear our brother talk. And I'm going to end this right now, right here. You have the number. There's no excuse not to hear what Brother Dwight has to say. We have 5 hours on that. And when it stops, we do another 5 hours if you want. We're going to talk into the night. I may not last, but for an hour or two, but everybody can come in and chime in and we can have a deep discussion. And this will be put up on my Patreon. Anyway, I love you all. Thank you so much for coming in and listening to me vent. And I'm glad I had a chance to connect with Brother Dwight. Anyway, I'll talk to you in a few. I'll be on the conference line. Don't forget this number. It's there. All right? Much love. Peace.
All in your space is where I wanna be. Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget what you want. There's something in my brain wants you. I've been thinking of myself, asking for help, but nothing to work on you. Yeah, yeah. You always make me feel like okay. You never leave my thoughts alone. You're the reason I'm going all that I crave, when you're away. Do we need space? It may be your break, maybe your break. Give it, we take it, love that we make. It's my favorite drug.